Hey guys, it's Minty here, and welcome to today's episode of Sunday Memorabilia, where we're going to look at some of my action figurine collection. So to start off, we're going to look at some old school ones. And first up here, we've got Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I can actually remember when these figurines came out because I really love the cardboard cover with Arnie's half human, half Terminator face there. And here, of course, we have a figurine of John Connor, who pretty much looks absolutely nothing like Edward Furlong. I always liked this figurine as a kid because it came with a motorbike, but personally I was more into the Terminator figurines because they had special things like you pull their arm down and their faces pop off to see that they're robots underneath. But still, it's a worthy addition into my collection. Here we have this little G.I. Joe guy. The packaging is really busted down here. This guy is really slipping out. It's the plastic that's covering him has been stained yellow. So yeah, this isn't not in the best of shape at the moment. Here we have this figurine for Hook, where we have the character Fudbutt. Remember that kid in Hook who sort of rolls up into a ball and knocks a heap of the pirates down? I actually didn't know his name was Fudbutt until I saw this. Once again, I can remember when this lineup came out when I was a kid and all us kids were buying it and thought it was great, and well, there you have it. Here we have this one for Dick Tracy, where we have Al Pacino's Big Boy Caprice character. Some of my viewers would recognise this from a few weeks ago from the Dick Tracy episode that I made, where I said I always wanted an Al Pacino figurine. Would have preferred Scarface, but hey, this will have to do for the meantime. I like how comic book-like the cover board looks as well. Here we have two Star Trek The Next Generation figurines. I was never really into Star Trek The Next Generation. I'm sorry if that's a shock or a disappointment to me. I don't mean I liked it. I just wasn't particularly fanatical about it, but you know, I saw these going at a car boot sale market. They were going relatively cheap, well, $10, so I thought, yeah, I'll get them. It'll, you know, just cool collector's piece. And whenever I buy these figurines, I never get them unless they're in their packaging. There's just something about the packaging which, I don't know, it's like a bit like a time capsule, I guess you could say. And here we have this Stormtrooper Star Wars figurine. I also used this in the Star Wars Sunday Memorabilia. This was a re-release by Kenner that came out in 1995 of a Stormtrooper. Really like the packaging. Think it's still in pretty good order. It looks a lot more bulkier than the original release one, so yeah, this guy's cool. Here we have these two DC comic hero figurines. This came out in the late 80s and early 90s. Before this, there was a Kenner lineup called the Superpowers, and these basically took the same molds, or at least similar molds, and just basically repackaged them. It was cool to get the Riddler, because the Riddler didn't make it in the Superpowers lineup, so that was pretty cool to get him. But we've got the Green Lantern here, and compared to the Superpowers one, I don't know if you can see, he looks rubbish. Really rubbish looking figurine. It just does not look remotely like the Green Lantern, sorry. But, you know, still, they make pretty cool collector's pieces, so there is that. Here we have the Batman animated series. We've got Scarecrow here. Once again, I got this from a car boot sale market. I think possibly the same one that I got the Star Trek Next Generation ones. Pretty cool Scarecrow design. I always found the Scarecrow in the Batman animated series to be really creepy. Probably my favourite rendition of the Scarecrow, to be honest. I prefer this one better to just the weird sack on head while still wearing a suit thing that they did with Batman Begins. So yeah, nice little addition. And here we have Mulleted Superman. During the 90s they decided to rejuvenate Superman, so to speak, and to make him cool and hip again by giving him a mullet. Even though it was now the 90s and mullets were very much a part of the 80s, and yeah, I don't really think people look too fondly back at Mulleted Superman. So naturally, because we have Superman, we have to have Batman. And here, this is my favourite one, Batman figurine that came out as a tie-in for Tim Burton's Batman movie. Really love this lineup, probably a bit short on characters, but it was still pretty cool. This is a figurine of Michael Keaton's Batman, only in their classical blue and grey design, which is interesting. So now we're going to move on to new release figurines, and here we have Adam West's Batman. So, who would win in this punch-up? Michael Keaton Batman or Adam West? Well, no one would win because they'll discover that both their mums are called Martha and that'll be the end of it. But yeah, I actually really like this little guy. Been searching for Robin, can't seem to find him anywhere. But yeah, this little figurine's cool. Very good collector's piece if you like Batman, especially the original TV series. Here we have this Ghostbusters figurine of Peter Venkman, my favourite character, so naturally it had to be Peter Venkman. In this sort of epic box-like packaging. No, Ghostbusters did not waste any time. They're like, to hell with just that one flat board with a little shell thing. We're going to have a full-on box. So, yeah, the box packaging I felt could be a little bit more interesting, but hey, it is what it is. Very big figure here who's going to loom over all the other ones, so yeah, when it comes to this figurine collection, Peter Venkman's definitely in charge. Here we have an It action figurine lineup, as in the movie It that came out last year, and it's got Pennywise, Bill and Georgie. You can get other editions where Pennywise is with other members of the Losers Club, but I really wanted this because it came with Georgie, because in the Minty universe of It, Georgie survives. But yeah, this is really cool. I really like this. Here we have two recent Star Wars figurines. What I really like about these is the packaging and the design of the figurines. They're really gone for that old school look from the Kenner figurines of the 70s when they first released Star Wars toys. And I just love how vintage and classic they look. And look, if you look down here, it's even got the Kenner logo. Brilliant. What's not to love about that? Now this is bizarre. We have these horror movie themed figurines that are sort of inspired by He-Man. So I guess the best way to describe them is He-Man inspired horror movie monsters. And here we have Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, and of course Freddy Krueger. Although the Freddy Krueger one looks really weird. I don't know what's going on there. But these are, an interesting novelty to have. It doesn't really make any sense and there's no rhyme or reason behind them, but they're pretty cool. And just the idea of having horror movie figurines based on the designs of Masters of the Universe. I mean, what's not to love about that? Here we have my Avengers Infinity War lineup, where I've got Captain America and Iron Man, Gamora. Sorry, Gamora, didn't mean to drop you. And of course, Doctor Strange. I've been looking everywhere for Thanos, can't find him. I really need Thanos. I really need him to complete this collection. Along with the other characters, but mainly Thanos. A few years ago, a company called Reenact released these sort of toys that were based on movie characters, which once again were based on the design of the original Star Wars figurines. And here we have Freddy Krueger. Looks really cool. This figurine itself looks simplistic, but it's just the idea of what could have been had Kenner, done a toy figurine of Freddy Krueger. And here we have Pulp Fiction, where we have Jules. Oh, this was the first one I got. I love this figurine. It's brilliant. I mean, it's Jules from Pulp Fiction. Come on. Here we have Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid, and I love how he's got his little bucket, his little cleaning bucket there for when he does Mr. Miyagi's chores. Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Interesting detailing once again. Love the art packaging. Brilliant. Marty McFly from Back to the Future. This one was a must. The toy figurine doesn't really look that much like Marty. And if you look at the back here, they've got other characters that you can get. And they've got George McFly here. And if you could really look at it, it actually looks more like Matt Smith's 11th Doctor than it does George McFly, but okay. Unfortunately, this one's really been faded by the sun, which is a shame. But at the same time, it also makes it look more vintage. Terminator, once again, this was a must-have. Love this figurine, looks great on display. Once again, love the packaging here, it's awesome. Hey you guys, we got Sloth from the Goonies, and as you can see, the Superman S from his t-shirt has been removed, which deduces me to think that that was due to some kind of copyright and or legal issue. But once again, still a worthy addition to this collection. And finally, I thought this one was funny. A figurine from Alien, we've got John Hurt's character, complete with chest burster, just coming out there. And I think what's the most fascinating about this one is that there actually was going to be a toy lineup that Kenner was going to release with Alien. And I think that this might have even been a prototype that was made back in the 70s, but I think what happened is that someone watched Alien and they're like, ugh, okay, this is not for kids. We shouldn't be making toys about it. But so yeah, this is the most interesting out of the reenact collection because I think it's actually based on proper designs. Even the artwork, I think, was even based back in the 70s when there was going to be a lineup. Okay, I saved the best for last. This is the mother of all action figurines. So get ready. You're not going to be disappointed with this one. It is literally the best action figurine ever. An action figurine of Jaws. I mean, come on, Jaws. Can it get any better than that? Oh yeah, you better believe it. Bruce the Shark got his own action figurine made, and I love it. I love everything about this. I love the shark. I love the packaging. It is all brilliant. Love it, love it, love it. It's one of my favourite things in my collectibles. It's just the best. And once again, you've got the back here. But yeah, this just puts such a sparkle in my heart, knowing that I've got a figurine of Jaws and that he can go around and eat any other action figurine of my choosing. It's the best. Well guys, that was my look into action figurines. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned next time when I look into movie props. Yes, movie props. See ya!